Good morning. We're going to get started. We have a busy meeting, and I just want to say happy anniversary. This is our anniversary month, and so New Tracks we have been together since 2011, November 7th. I always want to say the 11th, but November 7th of 2011, New Tracks began and opened up their doors. And so that was 14 years ago. So we have quite a few anniversaries. And we have Cort Jerome that has been here 2 years. Thank you, Cort, for your service. We have Jerome Dill, who has been here 3 years. He's right out here. Happy anniversary, Jerome. We have Eric Ponath. I thought I saw him. He has been here 4 years, so we see Eric. Happy anniversary. Matt he washes our buses, and he's been here 5 years. Thank you, Matt, for all those clean buses. And you get a certificate and a pen.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. And it's also his birthday today, so Eric, thank you. And we're gonna have pizza. And we're having a cake for our anniversary, but what a fun little thing to have cake too, right, Matt?
Yes.
On your birthday, but it's for our anniversary, so again, happy anniversary. And then for the drivers that have been with us since the beginning. Are you okay?
I am.
So, these drivers that have been with us for 14 years. Pam Rea. We have Patti, myself, that's been here for 14 years. We have Flach, the manager, that's been here for 14 years. And we have Reene Hauser, who's been here for 14 years as our trainer. Dorothy Kannisto, she's back there. She's been here for 14 years, and she's been doing it for a while, but she's our evening dispatch. So please make sure, including myself, to do a park and clear when you come back to Dorothy. Make sure those windows are shut. This is just a little shout out from Dorothy. So she doesn't have to drive here, so just make sure that we're all giving her a parked and cleared, and that we're turning everything off. Diane Meyer, 14 years, happy anniversary. Oh, she's right, she's over there, I thought I saw her. Shelly, she's not here today, but she's also been here for 14 years. Kathy, Berrisford, she's right over there, she's been here for 14 years. Rhonda, there's Rhonda, she's back there, she's been with us for 14 years. And Shelly Petrangelo, she is one of our part-timers now, but she started as well with us for 14 years. So, we have some new employees. So we have 2 part-timers. Gary, I saw him.
Right here.
Gary over here, so everybody welcome Gary. He's one of our new part-time employees. We have Ed over here, that's another one of our part-time employees. And then we have Sam. She is back. She is the driveway. And she's with us all the time. She's kind of that evening, the one that was posted, she's taken over that position. So welcome, Sam. Okay, I have a couple announcements. First one is from the mechanics. If you're getting oil, which we want you to get oil, please see this oil drippage mess right here. Please make sure that you have that upright and you're not walking like this, because there's a big oil leak back there, and now there's one here. So please, be aware of what you're doing with that oil. So thank you. Also, this has been brought to our attention, and I know it's because you want to get through that light, but on County Road E, when there's 2 lanes, let's all be courteous to one another. Let's not try to speed and get by one another and make each other upset and cut each other off. So please be mindful on County Road E here, when you're back behind and then you get into that right lane and then you speed forward to get into the lane before that driver that's been sitting there. So just be courteous, okay? And then also reviews are coming. And Mike and I, so we're gonna be talking about our times. And so I know I wanna clean up our times, and please go by when to work after these times get settled. We're going to be asking you, there's been a lot of route changes, and when sub-drivers do your routes, we need to know when we need to clock in. So please just kind of keep in mind what time you think is fair that you need to clock in. And punch out, usually, you're getting gas or something like that. So it's more for the front end of time. So we're gonna be talking about that. And then in drivers meetings, please don't clock in. I hope everyone's in training until 9:45. Okay? So I just wanna bring that to your attention too. And happy anniversary.
Just a quick update on our parking. I know we're approaching winter, and that's gonna be fun, but they finished the paving here on the south lot, and I have moved that fence over to where those orange cones were, so you guys have a guide as to how far to pull up in that first row. We're also able to park on the other side, on that east side where some of our vehicles are, that look weird because they moved the fence. So we shouldn't need to park on the street anymore going forward. So if you've been parking on the street, we have access to that parking lot there where they moved that fence on the east side. We could probably do 2 rows if needed. So just, if you're one of the first people that get there in the morning, park all the way up towards, so we can gauge how far apart we can park, just be sensible with it. And if we need to do 2 rows, we could do that as well. So it'll help keep us off the road for this winter. Mike G was gonna let the city of Gem Lake know that we're no longer gonna park on the road. So after today, we have access to that on both sides. So that should help us out. Is there any questions? Alrighty, that's all I have. Short and sweet.
Thank you, Mike. And now we're going to pass it over to Mr. Douglas, who's going to do a little bit of tie-dye story. This is tie-dye, fun. Woo! Here you go, Douglas. You got your own mic.
I have my own. How's the volume? Can you guys hear me? All right. We're all familiar with this. This is on over about half the fleet now with new buses. This is our life safety device. Consider this as valuable as your seat belts. So these need to be kept in good working order, which means keeping the dirt and muck off the floor off of them, keep people from tripping and standing on them. The point of this little 7-minute education is just a reminder of what's the best way to store these things. So the best way, I'll break this down into the best way, what not to do, and what's acceptable. So the best way is one way to do it. If it's not on the chair, you're using it as a tie down, they go back on their storage anchors. That's the best way. Keeps it off the floor, so you're not stepping on it, so your other riders are not stepping on it. Keeps it off the floor so the salt, snow, rain, and sand stay out of the internals, and makes them last a little longer. What happens is these get run over, walked on, stepped on, so this breaks off, and then you have a useless anchor. So that's the best way to do it. What not to do. Do not store it in the overhead. You're doing a home alone on yourself there. So you're trusting those little clips to hold this. Do not store this in the overhead. In the overhead, this does not go. Object motion stays in motion, so if you're traveling down the road at 70 miles an hour, how fast is this hunk of metal going? 70. You suddenly, deer in the road, car stops ahead of you, suddenly slow down ahead, you need to stop quickly. You go down to 10 miles an hour. How fast is this going? 70. It stops going 70 when it hits something that's not going 70. So that would be your riders, the back of your head, through the windshield. So that's why it should be secure. If I could have my technical support guy help me out. Nope, that's not it. I'll just describe it. There are two hooks that we have. We have a large black deep ring hook, and then there's a small dainty little silver hook. That silver hook is for umbrellas, purses, small grocery bags. That silver hook is not for these, so don't hang that on there. I'll get back to the other hook, or the other hook. So not the silver look, not the overhead, not loose on the floor ever. The other thing is, back in the past, we used to have buckets. We used to throw these, or the smaller kind, in buckets. All the buses now have a home for every anchor on the bus. Do not store any anchors in these buckets. One, there's no way to secure this very well. The bungee cords are not enough to hold this in an accident. Plus, water and garbage gets thrown in here along with this, so some of these decommissioned buses that I got, there was a layer of rusty, useless anchors at the bottom, just destroyed. Plus, all the jostling will rip off the knobs and damage your levers. So, no buckets. Again, the best way is on the anchors. Do not overhead. Do not on this little silver hook. Never loose, and not in buckets. But I know we have, we're busy, and you're going from one step to the other. So we've allowed some acceptable things. So we can store them along the wall, pucks along the wall, because you're going from one step to the other step. That's fine. That's acceptable. But what's not acceptable is in the middle of the walkway. Do not leave them there because they are a trip hazard. We've had people get hurt tripping on them. We've had clients get hurt tripping on them. And plus, you're damaging us. Do not keep them under seats. Do not keep them under seats where people will hit them with their feet. They'll get them caught. They'll get stuff caught on the hook, trip themselves up. Plus, you're damaging this, and also you're getting snow, rain, sand, salt into your life safety thing, your seatbelt for your wheelchairs. The other thing that's acceptable is that black D-ring. That's fine to hook it up because you've got a lot of chairs to do, and you're unloading, you're untying one, and you just store these. That hook is great for between runs, and 3 or 4 max. Do not put 8 or 10 on one. They're not that well secured. They're using the side of the bus. It's not that robust. So please don't overload those hooks. And any questions right now? So in summary, the best way is on their home, their anchors underneath the seats or on the wall mounts. Never loosen the floor in the overhead or on that little silver hook or in buckets. And what's acceptable is along the walls, not in the center where it's a trip hazard, and on those D-ring hooks.
Park on the floor, is it, can we like shoot a little WD in there, because they get grimy under there, just so you can get them in and out?
Yeah,
That's
you
okay.
can, yeah. Clean them, so.
Yeah, but sometimes they get,
That's a good point, is that ideally, at the end of the day, you will put your bus you'll bring your bus down to stage 1, which is all these on their home hooks. You won't leave the hooks stored on the floor against the wall, because that's, again, do the floors in your bus get dirty? Do they? Don't store them down there. Take them off, because what happens with those pucks is you leave it there forever, and all that grime gets in there. If you remove them and store them up and away, you have a chance to sweep it up and keep that grime down, and keep that puck clean, and so it's easy to use. Plus, you're saving this. And this won't rust out, this won't get damaged, and the dirt won't get inside. That is my time, unless there are any more questions. I have a question there.
I have a question about the previous one, about the County Road E double lane. You know, when there's somebody there, and you say that we're trying to beat somebody, well, sometimes there's a really, really long line that's backed up, and you're gonna wait 3 lights, you know? So that's why that other lane is there.
Okay.
You know, so I use that lane, if the other lane's way backed up. And if you guys have Matt Belk on your bus, something like him that screams, you're not gonna wait. You're not waiting, he screams, so that's why
That wasn't part of the hook thing, but yeah. But my question to you are you a hook store operator?
Come talk to me. We can discuss it after 17.
Okay.
Come and see Patti then.
Any more questions?
I have a question. I have some of the older pumps or tie downs on my desk,
No.
I know some of them are breaking, do you have to replace them with the same style, or can you?
Yes. So on your bus, they should all match. They should all be the same style. So if you're not these honkers, they should be the narrow ones but with the knobs. I've seen, I thought I got rid of them. We have some old style ones without the tension knobs. Those should be gone. What DOT likes is that they're all the same style. So if you have broken ones, we have replacements for that style as well. Yeah. We have enough for a couple buses for this, and we have a bunch for that style.
Hey, Douglas, one more.
Yes, Bruce?
Do we have enough portable steps to leave them in each bus? We can strap them down with a bungee cord maybe?
All the community buses, yes, they should have dedicated steps for aerial community buses, not the route buses. So, definitely community buses, 275 up through 298. They should all have a dedicated step labeled for them. I haven't labeled like 4 of them yet, because it's quick. And then we have some surplus that are, I do know that are living in some route buses that often go on community runs, so they're living there. If we need more steps due to we just don't have enough, or they've gotten run over or left behind, which has happened, let us know, and we can get some more.
And we have cords anywhere.
Well, I have bungee cords, and where I have supplied bungee cords. If you need bungee cords at any time, I have some, and if we run out, we'll get more. Any other questions? Any what? Is that on?
Hello.
That's my bad.
Just to add on to that, keeping your tie downs off the floor is important, but also your seat belt, your shoulder belt. When you guys unhook those, make sure you're tightening them up so that they're completely off the floor, so that those also will collect snow and dirt and grime and crud. And who wants to have that on their lap? So get those up off the floor. I know you guys are doing a great job sweeping up and keeping your floors clean. They look great. But it collects, and within just a run, it can collect all that white salt and everything from the road. So just keep that up. And then also I wanted to let you know that we have more of these now. I know that some of you wanted some more. These are for the tensioners on the sides of the tie downs to help you tighten those tie downs. So if you want one, let me know and I can get you one, okay? All right, so we're gonna go into winter driving. snow tomorrow, and so we gotta be ready. So I'm gonna have you guys watch a video, and then we're gonna go over some of the things that we should have in our buses after that.
First tip, windshield wipers and washer fluid. Make sure that you have good quality windshield wipers on your vehicle. Make sure that you have your windshield washer fluid topped up. Next tip, good quality tires on your vehicle. And I am not advocating winter tires. I'm advocating all season tires that are in good nick. They have good tread on them, and they have either the M&S symbol, mud and snow, or they have the mountain snowflake symbol on them. Good tires with good tread are going to make all the difference for driving in the snow. Now, I'm sitting in a t-shirt in my car, but I have preheated my car because it's cold out. It is 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are driving in some deep snow. They have not had time to clear all the roadways or alleyways and whatnot. And I like driving when there's a bit of snow on the roadway because it's very quiet. You know, if I turn the heater off, it's very quiet. The snow insulates and gets rid of that road noise that you always hear when you're driving on dry pavement. And you always want to slow down back from where you actually want to get stopped, and then you want to creep up to where you want to get stopped. And you saw there I wasn't going very fast, and I didn't want to pull out in front of the plow, so I just got going. And now we're pulling out. I'm going to drive through the snowbank there. Now, when are you going to get into trouble in the wintertime? You're going to get into trouble on curves, corners, and turns. Going around a corner. You can see here that as soon as I go around the corner, it slides. And also, if I speed up here and I try to brake and I try to turn, it pretty much just goes straight. And the reason that it pretty much just goes straight is called understeering. The steer tires cannot do both steering and braking at the same time. So those in the winter time have to become separate actions. Okay, shoulder checking. Shoulder checking, you got a pedestrian here on the other side of the road. Lots of space. And proceeding. And you can see, if I go around the corner and I kick down on the throttle, it kicks out a little bit. It starts to lose control. So this is the reason when you go around a corner, you have to slow down before the corner. It's nice and slow here. And then come around the corner, nice and easy at a slow speed. That way you're going to maintain control of your vehicle in the wintertime and on other slippery conditions. You see that I've got the defrost. It's snowing out a little bit right now, so I'm getting water and whatnot on the windshield. So that's why you have to have good quality windshield wipers on your vehicle in the winter time. Actually, we're going to go this way. And you just stop at the edge of the road. There's no lines in the wintertime when the roads are snow covered. So this is another reason that I encourage you to take your driver's test in the wintertime, because there's no roads. You just have to stop at the edge of the road before entering the intersection and then proceed. Or if there's a sidewalk, as there is a sidewalk here, I believe, no sidewalk. So again, at the edge of the road. And if there's a snowbank and you can't see, then you'll have to move up, creep up until you can see. When the way is clear, then you can proceed. Now you can see I have a warning sign here that there's a stop sign ahead. The truck is braking in front of me. Now I'm going to start slowing down back here. There is some dry pavement here, but for the most part, I don't want to take any chances. There's a sidewalk here. I want to get stopped behind the sidewalk. I can't see the lines on the roadway. And then proceeding. Checking again, and we proceed. Now, accelerating in a straight line, you're going to be just fine. You're not going to get into trouble doing that. It's the braking that's going to get you into trouble. The reason that you can accelerate, all cars in this day and age are all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, or 4x4. Okay, very few cars anymore are rear-wheel drive. They're almost gone the way of the dodo bird. There are a few, but for the most part, there aren't. So you're going to have lots of traction to get forward. Now, here I'm on hard pack. Okay, it's packed down. It's just ice and snow, and it's going to be icy at the intersection. So I just get my speed right down. Come to a stop and proceed. Shoulder checking. just fine. Now, I had one smart driver asking me about losing control of their vehicle in the wintertime, going into a skid and steering like a crazy person. Just getting through the intersection there was a lot going on, and I'm going around a corner and you saw that it kind of slid there a little bit. I had some understeering going on. So what happens is the vehicle wants to continue to go straight instead of steering and going around the corner. So that's why curves, corners, and turns, you've got to get your speed down before you get there so that you can steer, because the vehicle will not brake and steer at the same time in the winter time. And again, lots of snow on the roadway here. It's going to push and pull you around a little bit, but don't get too excited about that. That car is going through the yellow light. We slow down back here and creep up, get our speed down. As you can see, we're doing like 12 miles an hour here. Okay, edge of the intersection, back into a forward gear, and we wait. We're going to change lanes here. We're picking our spot where we want to turn because we want to turn into this mall here. I want to find a parking lot for you. I want to show you how to recover from a skid. Waiting to turn left, I've got my tires pointed straight in case I get rear-ended, then I'm not going to be driven into oncoming traffic, especially in the snow and ice here. And in the wintertime when there's snow on the road, the traffic is just going to be moving slower. Everybody is moving slower, so you just have to have more patience in the wintertime when you're driving around. Okay, meeting the gap. And you'll have to come off the throttle too when you get that steering. If you start losing steering and it starts to kick out, just take your foot off the throttle. It'll start to straighten around if you're not going too fast. Nice and slow in parking lots. And again, we're trying to steer, so we're not braking while we're steering. Okay, and this parking lot's been cleaned out, so this isn't really what I wanted, but we'll do what we can here. Okay, so if I kick loose here, see how I take my foot off the throttle? As soon as I take my foot off the throttle, it starts to catch traction and starts to slow down, and you're going to regain control of your vehicle. Now, this isn't very good because the parking lot's been cleaned and sanded, so I can't really lose control here. But when you go around a corner, if you go to the left and you start to lose traction, you've got to steer into the skid, is what most people are saying, which is essentially you want to steer in the direction you want to go, which is down the road. So going around to the left, you're going to have to steer to the right, and then you may have to aggressively steer back the other way until you get the vehicle straightened out. But get your foot off the throttle, get your foot off the brake, and that's how you recover from a skid. Again, situational awareness. And the little tractor that could is holding up traffic now, going up the hill. And I don't need to apply the brake here. I just take my foot off the throttle and slow down and keep my distance behind the vehicles here. And that's the other piece in the wintertime, is you need to keep that space in front of your vehicle. For whatever reason, drivers are going to insist on driving down the roadway in a lineup like a train. And whether they think they're in NASCAR or what it is, I don't know what the mentality of them driving in clusters is. But they insist on driving together, slow, bumper on bumper. Stay out of those lineups. Stay out of that train. You don't want to be part of that train, because if one car gets into trouble, they're all going to get into trouble. You want to have that big space, 3 to 4 second following distance in front of your vehicle. All right? And also, see, I've got this space in front of me, this one vehicle length behind the pickup truck in front of me. And the way that I can tell that is I can see the tires of the truck making clear contact with the road surface. In other words, I can see the bottom of the tires on the roadway. I think the red pickup truck here is protecting a little snowplow that could, so we're going to get out in the other lane here. And when you move from one lane to the other there, you can see the trench of snow kind of piled up there. The windrow of snow is a better description. Windrow, it's from farming. When you get into that, it's going to push you around a little bit, so you're going to have to be going slow enough that you have full steering ability to get from one lane to the other. Now, I can move up here a little bit because I'm not quite at the edge of the intersection. I don't want to be in the intersection, but I want the front end of my vehicle in line with the cross street here. Okay, and I'm going to meet the gap here. moving up. And again, I'm gonna make a left here at the traffic light, shoulder checking. Okay, there's no cars coming. Get my gear before I go around, slow down, and then steer around the corner. Flashing lights and blaring sirens are not going on in the fire truck, so I don't have to give way to the fire truck. And these plows and whatnot, make sure that you give them plenty of room, especially if it's been snowing for a while. If you've had snow for 24 hours, know that some of those plow drivers are pretty tired because they've been working 18, 20 hours straight. So give them plenty of room and space. And see, when I come around the corner there and I step on the throttle, it starts to over accelerate and you get wheel spin. Just let your foot off the throttle and just reapply the throttle again, and that will help you to get traction. And again, we're using the hill here so we don't have to brake, and we're staying back 1 vehicle length from the student driver in front of us. Last point for driving in the winter time on snow and ice. If you're coming down the roadway and you've got any speed up at all and you need to stop in a hurry and you hit the brakes, that grinding, that shuddering, that pushback on the pedal, that's your ABS brakes, and that is all completely normal. Any vehicle in the last 30 years they're all gonna have ABS brakes on them, anti-lock braking systems. Know that's gonna happen, and sometimes if it's really slippery at the intersection, your ABS is going to kick in and you're not going to get stopped in the same amount of distance. And it's going to freak you out a little bit because there's all that grinding and pushback from the ABS. One more time. And that's the car perfectly normal doing what it's supposed to be doing with the ABS in the winter time. But just know that if you come up to an intersection and it's really slippery and you hit the brakes pretty hard, the ABS is going to kick in. And if you're not experienced with ABS, it's going to scare the crap out of you. So nice and slow here, brake, stop before the sidewalk, check for pedestrians, check again, and then we proceed. Smart points to remember in the winter time. Stop back from where you actually want to stop and then creep up to where you want to stop. Manage space in front of your vehicle. I cannot stress that enough. 3 to 4 second following distance in the winter time, and stop 1 vehicle length back from the vehicle in front of you. That is critical. Stay out of those clusters. Stay out of those lines of trains where one car after another going slow down the roadway. Braking and steering are separate actions. Slow down early and then steer around the corner. If you're losing control because of too much acceleration or too much brake, get your foot off the brake, get your foot off the acceleration, and work to get control of the vehicle. Also, good tires on your vehicle, good tread, good nick, good windshield wipers, and washer fluid. All of those will keep you safe and allow you to drive through the wintertime without incident or ending up in the ditch.
So, he covered a lot of things. There's a lot of things you have to remember in winter driving. The main points that he mentioned at the end of that video are probably the most important. Don't get into those packs of cars or those lines of cars. Leave that space in front of the car, in back of the car in front of you. So he said 3 or 4 seconds, that's for cars. We want to do average on good pavement is 4 seconds. So you want to add on another second or two when it's really slushy and really snowy and slippery out there, okay? Check your wipers before you guys leave the parking lot. We try to get good wipers to put on there, but if you're going to turn your wipers on, if there's ice on the window, you're going to wreck your wipers. So use your scrapers. Use scrapers first before you turn those wipers on, okay? I know it's part of the pre-trip to see if you have washer fluid, but always make sure that you not have some stubborn ice on there that's going to wreck your wipers, because it's not going to do any good. So make sure you got your scrapers, make sure you got good wipers. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is the cap that goes on your windshield washer fluid tube underneath your hood. If you need washer fluid, go pull around to the front by the mechanics. They have it in bulk, and they can help you get some of that back into your bus for you, okay? They only check it on when they have oil changes, okay? Just a few more things. When it's 20 degrees or below, we have some very nice fellow drivers and admin people that will go out and start your buses for you in the morning to help them be warmed up by the time you get out there. So make sure you be nice to these people, and they will make sure that you're ready to go when you come in the morning. But in the afternoon, it's up to you guys to go out and start your own buses, okay? We'll do it in the morning, but you have to make sure you do it in the afternoon, okay? Clean off your lights when you go get gas. Make sure you clean off your lights and make sure that those are all clean, and that includes all the markers and stuff around your bus. And then also, plowed driveways and roads. If you come upon a road that is not plowed, when you get there to pick up your person, please don't go down that unplowed road, okay? If you get stuck, then you're gonna have to call us. We're gonna have to come and get you out of there. Everybody's gonna be late. Dispatch is gonna have to call all the rest of your people. It's a big thing. Not to make a pun or anything, but it all snowballs. You're welcome. Make sure that you don't go down those roads. Hang on 1 minute, Eric. If you get to a house and the driveway is not plowed or shoveled, please do not get out of your bus and say, oh, I'll help you shovel. It'll be okay, I'll get out there and I'll help you shovel. Again, I don't want you to do it because I don't want you guys to hurt your backs shoveling, especially if it's that heavy heart attack snow. Also, if there's a big berm at the end from the snowplow, which sometimes happens between them shoveling and you getting to their house, you're not going to be able to put your lift down. So it's not your job to get out there and help them get rid of that. Just call dispatch and say, hey, their driveway's not plowed. What do you want me to do? If they are out there shoveling and it's only going to take like 5 minutes, then maybe you can wait. But if it's going to take them 15, 20 minutes, what do you think? It's not, you can't wait 20 minutes and put your whole rest of your route behind. Okay? Eric.
You might want to give us a depth on unplowed streets, because some of us might not go down, because I know I'll go down there when it's like that. Some of us might not do what you said that.
I would say it's a judgment call, but I would say if it's going to be covering up your tires, coming up underneath your bus, then you shouldn't be going down that street, because that's just going to gather underneath your bus, and it's going to get under your tires and in your tire wheel wells, and it's going to just clog up. So what is that? 6 to 12 inches? Yep.
One of the things when you come to a stop in Minnesota in the winter is you have you have a layer of ice in the tracks. Look for the snow if you're going to stop.
Yeah.
You get on that ice.
Absolutely. You're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
So the suggestion was when you come up to a stop, the black ice that forms there, which is caused by people who have gone there before. And they're sitting there idling and they're melting that snow, and then they could go off and then it refreezes. Try to, if you're coming up to one of those spots at a stop sign or even going down the road, try to move into the snowy part of the lane. I'm not saying go into the ditch or anything, but get into like a snowy part, which will help your traction, help you get traction.
What if it's an afternoon snow and you're bringing the pipe home and the driveway's not shoveled?
cross that bridge when we come to it.
yeah, you have, it's kind of gonna be a play-by-play call on that. You're right there, but I still don't want you following, trying to push this wheelchair through snow or the berm or whatever. Get help from, call dispatch and have them have the house come out and help you.
But also you're probably running the roads that aren't plowed yet either.
Right. So same thing, if you see a road that's not plowed, don't go down it, because you're gonna get stuck.
Where's the fine zone?
You're gonna have to call dispatch, maybe you can stop on a road that's just down the block, and they can come down and get your person from you, okay? All right. Alicia.
My question is, they didn't say it on the video, but the other suggestion I have is when we're coming to a stop sign or a light, it's not always us we worry about. Some other cars slide right through, and it didn't say anything about watching for that.
Well, as on a normal road, the question is, should we be watching for other people that are coming up that are not paying attention to the road conditions? We have our head on a swivel, right? At any intersection, whether it's spring, summer, fall, winter. Winter, it's gonna be doubly important because you are gonna have people that are gonna think, oh, I can stop on a dime, my car works great in the winter time. I got 4-wheel drive, whatever. You gotta watch out for that, okay? And be defensive, be on guard and help your bus to stop as best you can. And if someone else comes up there and falls into you, it's not your fault. There's probably not gonna be a whole lot you can do about it, but you gotta keep your head on a swivel with the cars going through the intersection, okay? Because they're probably not gonna be able to stop very well. Yes, Thomas?
Come to a stop, the white on that, even if it's a light, turns green, wait a few minutes, look up, like right.
Yep.
Then go.
Just like you would normally. Just like you would normally on an
Just 2
intersection.
seconds and the guy didn't stop it.
Yep,
You're still sitting there.
absolutely. Absolutely, so, all right, I'm getting the, so I just want to make sure you guys, make sure you have blankets in your buses, make sure you have yak tracks if you want them for your boots, so you don't slip and slide down in the parking lots, and kitty litter to put under your tires in case you get stuck. Yes?
I just want to say something about people that, if it comes up and then you walk it back on your bus, sand, it's really.
Well, we'll look into getting some sand. Okay.
And it doesn't.
I hear you. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Reene. If you do have any other questions about winter driving, if you do have more winter driving questions or about the snow, ice, and all of that stuff, please do see Reene afterwards. Just a reminder, our holiday party is coming upon us. It'll be soon after Thanksgiving. It's December 5th. Make sure the sign-ups are up. We would love to see you and guests come to our annual holiday party. So please make sure you do RSVP so we make sure I have enough food for everyone. Also wanted to give a save the date of May 13th. We are going to go to a Saints baseball game together. There will be $10 tickets to be able to sit in the dugout, like right behind the dugout. So some really great seats for $10 for you. So May 13th, I will put that in communications so you can go save the date for that. Also a reminder about Secret Santa that is happening. And Brenna, what is the day you're doing the drawing?
Friday.
This Friday?
Next
Yeah.
Friday.
The 21st, I think it is.
Yeah, so this Friday will be the drawing for the Secret Santa. Make sure you get all your, if you'd like to participate, make sure you get that in. Next we are going to be doing a benefit highlight. We do have Chris and Dan from Northwest Partners here. If you are a full-time benefited employee and are interested in a manual, if you'll raise your hand and Angie and Trevor, do you mind helping pass those out? And Douglas has got the PowerPoint up for you. So Chris and Dan are going to tell us a little bit more about our options. This is just going to be a quick overview. If you have additional questions afterwards, they're going to be here to answer that, and so will I. And if some of you are just going to waive your benefits, and that's okay too, you do need to make sure you still go through the ease portal and go ahead and waive those, and I can help people with that as well. So for right now, if you have to raise your hands if you would like a benefit manual, and they will come around and get those to you, and I'm gonna turn it over to Chris, is that what you said?
Well, here I am. You got me again. It's great to be here, sharing employee benefit, open enrollment meeting with each of you. Very important that you understand what these benefit changes are. And to help you with that, I brought along a real expert, Daniel Shannon. Last name is spelled the same, but he's younger and better looking than I am. And but we do want to make sure that you feel confident when you go in and you start making your elections on that EASE online enrollment portal, that you know what you're talking about and that you know that you've got somebody you can call if you have questions and need some help. So we've got the program right there. I'm going to turn it over to Dan. We're going to keep it down to, I think we're 11 o'clock we're done?
Yeah.
For sure?
Sure.
And maybe even sooner, because I see there's pizza here and there's a cake too. So focus for just a couple minutes before we get to the food, okay? And with that, I'll turn it over to Daniel.
We are literally between you and pizza right now, so we will do our best. Just quickly, it's been a tough year for health insurance renewals. Yeah, there's been news stories. You've probably heard other people have comments on that as well. We were no exception to that. However, we've really done our best to try and mitigate a lot of any increases that we've had, and really try and continue to offer a really high quality benefit that is affordable to you. The headline is that premiums ended up going by about 14% increase, which is not one of the worst ones we've seen this year, unfortunately. But however, NewTrax is contributing the lion's share of that to the employee cost, so your actual increase will be a smaller percentage. Most of that is being absorbed by the company. The average increase will end up being somewhere between 8 and 12%, depending on the plan that you're on with NewTrax, with Medica. And one of our plans, which I'll show in a moment, there were a couple of changes to that, where that deductible is now more in the middle of the 3 different plans that we offer. We accepted renewals of Mutual of Omaha for the long-term disability plan. There's no rate changes there. Health Partners Dental is renewing with no changes. Employee rates, deductions there will remain the same. Avisa's Vision, there were no changes to that program, so that will continue to be available. And then the one we can't quite see here is on the bottom is there's a new paid family medical plan that everybody in the state of Minnesota needs to comply with. Instead of going through the state, we are choosing to administer that to Mutual of Omaha. And there's a lot of reasons why we want to do that, but we know that they'll do a good job processing claims as people have them. So that's going to be done through your Mutual of Omaha policy. Okay. Plan changes. There were changes on each plan, but most of them are pretty minimal. You've got 2 networks to choose from. So there's 3 different plans, but 2 networks. So it's technically 6 plans. The 2 networks are the Choice Passport, which is the large open access network with Medica, Mayo Clinic's in network, every hospital system in the state's in network, 90-some% of the providers are in network. So it's a very, very broad network. If having access to care is important to you, or if you go to providers across multiple systems, that Choice Passport is probably the one you're going to want to be looking at. In exchange for accepting a smaller network through the Vantage Plus, Vantage Plus is not the large open access network. It's mHealth Fairview, it's North Memorial is part of that, University of Minnesota, there's some other independent practices that are part of that as well. But it is limited. It doesn't include Mayo Clinic. It does not include the Illini Health System. So if you're going to one of those providers, you want to make sure that you don't select that network, because the out-of-network costs are pretty prohibitive if you are in a if you're going to see an out-of-network provider. Okay, so those are the two networks. The Vantage is a cheaper network. There's some cost savings to accept that lower network. So if you're getting the care through the Fairview system and you're comfortable staying within that system, there's some premium savings that will be available for you. Okay? And then with the three plans that we're offering, the first one is a $500 deductible plan. It has office visit co-pays. It's got prescription drugs co-pays on there as well.
It's on page 6. If you want to look at it, like with it, it's on page 6.
Great, thank you. And this plan can be a good plan if a lot of your expenses are things that would be covered under a copay. You have lots of random office visits. You're on 1 or 2 prescription drugs that are fairly expensive, but you're otherwise healthy. So if you can get those covered under a copay, that could save you a lot of money each month. But there's still coverage if you have something more serious. Something like a hospital stay, you would pay the deductible first, which is $500. And then after that, you begin paying 30% of your expenses to the out-of-pocket maximum, which I don't have listed on here, but it is in the booklet. The second program, this is also a copay style plan, but we've increased the deductible on this one. And the reason we did that is because the pricing between Plan 1 and Plan 2 got pretty close. So there wasn't a lot of savings to justify doing the higher one. So rather, we chose a higher deductible, which is getting those premium rates down even further. So you're able to make a good choice between those two plans. If you're comfortable having a higher out-of-pocket maximum exposure, but you still want access to those co-pays, that could be a really good plan for you. And then the third plan is very similar to what it's been. It's a $4,000 deductible, still has some office visit co-pays. The main difference there is the out-of-pocket maximum is just higher, quite a bit higher at that $9,200 maximum out-of-pocket.
I may make a comment in the plan to the new program that we inserted, which is more in the middle of the other two. It's green in your booklet. On the row that says office visit co-pays, it says $0/specialist 70. That is not a typo. So if you go see the doctor in the doctor's office because you don't feel well and you've chosen that Plan 2 or Plan 5, it is a free visit, just like a routine exam, not a typo. I want to make sure you're aware of that. Okay?
We talked about the networks. Again, it's important to stay within the network. So if you're not going to a Fairview provider, the Choice Passport is going to be a better option for you. Oh, here's our plan comparison. So we went through this already, more or less, but you can see how the plans differ between each other. The 4-minute warning. All right. Let's make sure we cover everything. Dental is with Health Partners. That program is not changing, so it should look very familiar to you. The contributions are not changing as well, so it's actually a very affordable plan at a $10 cost for employee-only coverage. Dental insurance is a little different than medical insurance, where medical insurance will pay indefinitely. Dental insurance stops paying once you hit the maximum out of pocket, which in this case is $1,000. So they'll pay up. Oh, excuse me, that's the order coverage. I think the maximum got cut up on there. But it's a nice plan to have because your company's still paying a lion's share of it. And what it really gets you is those 6-month cleanings and helps you remember that you gotta go to the dentist and keep up with your routine
It's on
care.
page 20 if you're looking at dental. Page 20, it has not changed from last year.
Yep.
You did the coverage amount.
Okay, and then we've got a vision program through Avisa's. Vision is not for the net or the eye exam part of your care. That's covered through your medical program. But what is covered is glasses, lenses, and contacts.
It's page 28.
28.
Page 28 for the eyes.
So if you wear glasses and contacts and you're buying those things every year anyways, for a very affordable rate of, I can't see it, $613 per month for employee only, you can get a minimum of $130 credit to help buy glasses and contacts. So I'm not great at math, but that's more than $6 per month. And that $6 is a pre-tax expense. So we tend to have good take-up on that program because people find value in it. Okay, and then life and disability, we never spend enough time on this, but these are benefits that we purchase for you. And by purchasing it for everyone, we guarantee that everyone has that coverage. And then we're able to make sure that everyone gets at least a minimum level of coverage to help them and their families in case of a pretty terrible situation. And open enrollment starts today. Emails went out this morning. And we're giving you till December 3rd, so that's a couple of weeks, a little over a couple of weeks, to make your elections. Again, we need everybody to go in and do it, even if you're waiving coverage. And don't wait. If you know what you want to do, we really encourage you to get in there and make those elections right away. If you make elections, sign your forms, and you need to change something, you can do that as long as it's before December 3rd. So you can go back in, change whatever you needed to change in the sign forms. It will also save your progress. So if you start it and you don't complete it, it will leave off where you left off. Okay? And this is open enrollment. So this is your opportunity to make changes between plans, add a family member, really do whatever you need to do with the plan. Outside of open enrollment, you have to have a qualified license to be able to do it. So this is a good time to be thinking of these changes, and everything will be effective January 1st. 26, not 25. So, and I think that's the meat of what I wanted to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan and Chris. Actually, let's move on for just a second. Go back one slide. So a couple of just different notes. They will be here for a few moments after the meeting. Please come up and ask them your individual questions. If you have a question about a plan, dental health, or just how it all operates, these are great people to ask. They're very knowledgeable. If you were going to wait, if you're like, I'm on Medicare, it's hard to say Medica and Medicare. If you're on Medicare or on a spouse's plan or something like that, you're going to want to wait. And I have these instructions written down, and I can go through them with you. I will also be having some office hours over the next couple of weeks to make sure that you get all of this completed. Again, they'll be here. I'll be here for questions. Minnesota paid leave, we know that you guys have heard a lot about that. It can seem very complicated, and so I didn't want them to have to do that with open enrollment stuff, so I will be talking about that at next month's meeting. That is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you work 5 hours or if you work 40. It is for everyone, and I will go over in detail what it means, what it looks like, what's happening with it, because it can be very confusing. So I will be talking more in depth about that next month. Any further questions before we get some pizza and have some cake? All right, well, thank you guys so much for your time and your patience.
Please make sure you sign the form.
Yes, sign the form. Make sure you get credit for being here today and for winter driving training. If you have any other questions, please come see us. Thank you guys.
Put 40 over there.